It started with fire, not on a mountain, not in the wilderness, but in a room, in a city, in a moment that changed everything. Acts chapter 2. They weren't observing the Sabbath, they were receiving it. The first Sabbath was about stopping. Exodus 20, verse 11. In 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth and rested the seventh day. Rest meant obedience. It meant remembering. But Hebrews 4 speaks of another rest. There remains therefore a rest to the people of God. Verse 9. Not just a day on the calendar, not just a commandment on a tablet, a rest that required faith, not form. And a rest you could only enter by being born again. Isaiah 28, 11 and 12 gave us a clue long before the upper room. With stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. This is the rest, this is the refreshing. But they would not hear. The Jews clung to the day, but missed the experience. Then came Acts chapter 2. And the Spirit came not with silence, but with sound, wind, fire, tongues. And suddenly, the rest was no longer about a Sabbath. It was about a Spirit. When the Holy Ghost filled them in Acts chapter 2, they weren't keeping the Sabbath. They were becoming the Sabbath. They weren't entering a day. They were entering a presence, the Spirit of Jesus Christ. Romans 8 and 9 says, If any man have not the Spirit of Christ, he is none of his. This is not optional. This is the covenant. What the Sabbath once symbolized, the Holy Ghost now fulfills. The Sabbath wasn't canceled. It was reborn, repackaged, not in stone, not in tradition, but in spirit and fire. The Holy Ghost is the new covenant Sabbath. You don't just observe it, you're filled with it. You experience it. And you know what happens when you receive it? You cease. You rest. You cease from striving. Cease from earning. Cease from sin. You enter rest. A peace that the world didn't give and the world cannot take away. Because He enters you. The Bible doesn't tell us to remember the Sabbath anymore. It tells us to enter the Sabbath. The only way to enter rest is to receive the Holy Ghost. That's why Acts chapter 2 isn't just a doctrine, it's a covenant reality. It is the rebirth of rest, and you can receive it today. Tongues aren't a sign of weirdness. They are the evidence of entry. And when you enter, you don't just keep the Sabbath, you fulfill it. In episode 7, we go further. The danger of honoring the symbol, but refusing the substance. Subscribe and come back ready to be uncomfortable.